quickly through your list of the positive changes that might come out of this. The first is academia. A lot of people just may decide $50,000 a year when I can do it for almost nothing on the internet is really worth considering. Next, the media.
Oh, the media, Dennis. Has there ever been a greater face plant than what the media has done? Has any institution ever failed so completely as the media has through this? Even just last night with CNN coming out and announcing Kim Jong-un is dead or dying. And, of course, that turns out to be a complete balderdash. If I didn't despise the mainstream media so much, Dennis, I would feel sorry for them because they have got to be utterly humiliated right now.
You're more optimistic than I. I don't think it's possible to humiliate the left.
Well, I do think that they were born without shame genes, which allowed them to become leftists in the first place.
Look, how many stories did CNN have about Brett Kavanaugh and rape? How many? I think
I believe the number between him and Biden is something like 700 to 1.
Did they have one on Biden?
Yeah,
so 700 to 1. Or whatever it is, 80 to 1, 100 to 1,000, whatever it is, folks.
Yeah.
It's fraudulent. It's a fraudulent source of. It's not a source of news. It's a propaganda state. You'll say Fox News is. There was no comparison. Fox News had Kavanaugh stories, and Fox Nude had Fox Nude. That was awesome. That is Freud at work.
Maybe they're taking a new direction to pump up their ratings.
Right. Well, they don't need to. But we're talking sexual. We're talking rape. So obviously, the brain went there. But anyway, with the allegations, quite substantial against Joe Biden, mum, the Fox News had both. Anyway, so all right. So you think the media has lost even more prestige now? Is that your theory?
I think it is losing it among the people who don't make politics and current events their, that isn't a constant obsession. Because you and I, guys like us, we do follow it. A lot of people just want to live their lives in a nice, normal way, deal with their families and their job and their communities, and they find the news annoying and they kind of ignore it. But they've been told again and again that this virus is going to kill everybody, and it's not killing everybody, and that we have to do all these crazy things, and they're looking around going, doesn't really make sense to chase.
Well, I don't know if I share your optimism. Do you think the polls, 60% of Americans think that the lockdown is correct? You think that those polls are incorrect?
Well, I think it's a bad question. Do I think the lockdown was correct for some short temporary period? Maybe. Do I think it's correct going into 2021, as some of these people are saying? No, that's crazy talk. I think a lot of polls are, look, I'm a lawyer. I ask questions to get the answer I want.
See, I think yes, that's right. I agree. Anyway, the mature question, and maturity is a monopoly on the right. And I made that case yesterday with the mayor of Los Angeles. But anyway, the mature person asks this. Here is the trade-off. Tens of millions of people will have no work versus 50,000 excess deaths. Let's just pick a random number. What do you say, my fellow American? Or how about this? Knowing that 2 years ago we lost 60 to 80,000 Americans to the flu. See, that's the way I would like to put the question.
Yes. So much, Dennis. You are so dead on with the concept of maturity. Adults make choices. Leaders make choices. When I was a commander, my job was to make choices with consequences. And yeah, I'm not somebody saying that this virus means nothing. And I have people in my family who are especially susceptible to it. But life is about making choices. Are we going to impoverish our society and send us back 100 years to dwelling in caves? I mean, it might make AOC happy, but it's going to have consequences, and some people are going to pass on, or are we going to try and use some common sense measures to avoid getting people who are especially vulnerable sick while still keeping our economy going? What are we going to do? We have to make choices, and
Well, as soon as you say we have to make choices, I know you're not on the left. Small businesses is your next one. What do you say about that?
If you are a small business owner, Dennis, you do not any longer have the luxury of pretending that the Democrats are just another kind of political party,
right,
and they're all the same, and it doesn't really matter who you vote for.
It is astonishing to me that any small business owner would vote Democrat. I mean, it's an act of.
It astonishes.
It is astonishing. It's astonishing that a policeman would vote Democrat.
Pathology that leads people to vote left against their own interest, against their own morality in many cases.
Next, open borders.
Well, one of the great things about Donald Trump is how he clarifies and how he understands argument, debate, and the political arena better than anyone else. I think it was a genius move to say we're having a temporary closure of legal immigration, because that really puts these people in a place. Because now you have to explain, with 22 million Americans unemployed, and that number just staggers me. That's 22 million tragedies. Why we need to ship in more foreigners. And I like foreigners, Dennis. I married an American by choice. She's sitting right there.
Hi.
But
did you tell her? Tell her I said hi.
Oh, Dennis says hi, honey.
Hi, Dennis.
She says hi back.
Thank you, honey. Is that her name, honey? All right. By the way, just to reinforce this, guess who else has closed borders? The Schengen people with the Schengen rule. Right? Europe has boasted we have no borders since World War II. And they're all closing their borders. I know a German young guy. He's a great guy. His girlfriend happened to visit her family in Austria. She's not allowed back in Germany from Austria. All right, Kurt Schlichter, you're terrific. We'll do a part 2 on the rest of these things. His column is up at DennisPrager.com. The changes that will take place. You're listening to The Dennis Prager Show.
The Dennis Prager Show, live from the Relief Factor Pain-Free Studio.